you know, talking about a revolution sounds. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unmorbid lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. We're gonna rise up, get there, yeah. We're gonna rise up, take what's there. Don't you know you better run, 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 run.
Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. Run, run. Thanks for joining me midweek live. It's all about you Wednesday night. Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. Get your comments in. Thanks for all the sharing and all the support that I've been given in the last week. Follow me on Twitter at @1mistybarnes. I've sent the last Facebook live feed onto government through Twitter. Both accounts of government have got the last Facebook live. Still to this day, I haven't had anybody come to speak to me regarding children screaming to be heard and forced adoption, parents being alienated, because that's what this all centres around, children right across the board. And I'd like to say to Forest Council, and my MP, Jackie Dole-Price, Conservative MP, I'd like to say to you, why is it not a concern if it's a simple maladministration, the Misty Barnes case, stealing my child, me sitting here week in, week out, accusing Thurrock Council of perjury, stealing my kid. They went back to court to defend their perjury and tried to adopt my child. I've got adoption forms here, the BAF forms. And the social worker that signed herself off as a social worker to adopt my child, and she was a student social worker. And this is trying to steal my child at the highest level. Yeah, babes, thanks a lot, babes, tonight for doing these comments. I've got my missus here tonight as well. She's not ready yet to come on camera, but I've been trying to get her to do it. No. And I sit in here week in, week out, accusing Thurrock Council of perjuring themselves, Nick and my kid. They went back to court to try to defend their perjury, have a social worker who was a student social worker, sign off adoption forms, and they tried to adopt my baby. Proved my innocence, got my child back. The MP, Jackie Dole-Price, used me in the election of 2015, said my case was a simple maladministration, yet I'll continue to still sit here and accuse the council of perjury. And this MP doesn't raise their head above the parapet wall and say, "Oi, Mr Barnes, what do you think you're doing? Go bringing my council down, the Conservative-run council. You're saying that it perjured itself. That is a lie and that's a criminal offence." But it's not a civil matter to the council. You know, they've accepted liability, full liability of it, all of it. They've even sent me money for therapy for my son. The damage that he went through at the hands of his mother with the social workers in the same case as my son, didn't act. Loads of referrals, didn't act. Yet the same social worker nicked me daughter on future risk of harm. And I'll say to you, Jackie Dole-Price MP, but any other MPs that's watching, how can I sit here week in, week out accusing this council of perjury and nicking my kid? Yet Jackie Dole-Price sits there and says it's a simple maladministration. Well, why am I not a concern for you, Jackie Dole-Price? I must have some truth in what I'm saying, because I went to you for help, you did nothing, you used me, and to this day I've still got no justice. And I do believe, with all the families that contact me up and down this country, it's a form of class cleansing. The highest level. We're not going to say it's child trafficking, we're not going to say it's child abduction, we're going to say it's class cleansing, because you're targeting the same families. Kids that have been in care, you're targeting them. And this is a professional form of class cleansing. And when you have all these reviews or these inquiries or costs a hell of a lot of money, judicial reviews, all the rest of it, you get professional avoidance right across the board. And years ago, everybody used to stick all their money and all their looms all down Hatton Garden safety deposit places and all that, yeah. The same very places these pensioners broke into and took all the jewels. It used to be safety deposit boxes. Now the times have changed for this elite around Parliament and uni, protecting all the uni people. This is what this is. They put all their money into the big construction that's going on at 9 Elms in Vauxhall, South West London. Great big massive skyscrapers, state of the art things they are. Now, if there was a fire down there, would they have treated them towers exactly the same as Grenfell Tower? I beg you not. Sorry, Babs.
Few comments coming in thick and fast.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Please share this and get your feelings, let your feelings be heard, because I am going to be sending this on to Theresa May and co, the whole of Parliament. Sorry, Babs.
Gillian Speak, well done for speaking out and exposing this type of horrendous legalised child trafficking that is destroying so many lives.
Class cleansing.
And Tracy Morris, class cleansing, perfect label for it.
I mean, the minute we start saying, oh, they're nicking kids, oh, it's child trafficking, oh, it's organised crap. If we say class cleansing, because that's what it is, class cleansing, because this thing at Grenfell Tower bothers me, because there's kids going into these places of nursery to this day, still reenacting what they've seen at the tower. Now, their information was in that tower, all go upstairs. Now, would they have said that same information to the people down at 9 Elms in these big penthouse flats, what cost millions of pounds? When there was a crane, a helicopter hit a crane around the same area of 9 Elms on the top of one of these places that was being refurbed. A helicopter flew into it. The crane cracked in half, fire everywhere because of the aviation fuel. Every service was there, blink of an eye. All sorted. Grenfell Tower, different scenario. And what pisses me off the most? It's slowly starting to turn around and blame the police. The same very people that get blamed for fucking everything. And I'm thrust passion. I'm going to swear if I have to swear or it slips out. But I will say thrust passion, so I'm sorry if anybody feels offended by that. But it is a midweek about you. Get your comments and we need to share this. I want your voices to be heard, because at the end of the day, #Scouse Megaphone Man is a man of the people. I'm here for you. You know, I care about the money in your pocket. Do you know what I mean? I care about the money you save in your pocket. I'd love to be a politician. And there's a good friend of mine, Donna Electric Shock. I'll take my hat off to this woman, and I think we're going to become good friends, me and her. She's clued up. She says how it is, and I like her. And it's just the same. The MP from Hull, echo that, bud.
MP Carl Turner, Labour.
Carl Turner from Labour in Hull. I hope you're proud of the work that you do up in Hull. Apparently, he doesn't do any work, you know. Everybody's screaming on, all the community screaming on, saying, why don't you do some work? And this is an MP in Hull. And this is up and down the country. These MPs are quick enough to draw their wages week in, week out. Could you imagine if I put into the DWP and said to them, I want a second fridge, an American one at that? What would they say to me? Piss off. That's what they say to me. But these MPs, you know, turn up at Parliament. Oh, I think I'll turn up and have a latte, please. And then piss off. 300 plus in their pocket. They don't care about the children's debates, what's going on. About 8 of them in there, all sitting there, all falling asleep. And we put these people in that position of power to sort our problems out. You got Furrow Council. The Cabinet Chamber meeting should be ashamed of themselves. Mark Coxshall is a councillor at Furrow Council, and he's the husband of Jackie Dole Price. This is a councillor that draws his wages. He was part of the fire committee and all that, right? He went to one meeting out of about 7, 8. One meeting. Drawed his wages. You know what I mean? What's that? A month. Do you know what I mean? A year. 10,000 plus. Glorified wealth extractors in our councils. Human shields. How can we complain to a work engine who answers and deals with scrutiny? It's a piss take. And I'll say to you, Theresa May, the people are fucking waking up and smelling the coffee, and they're sick and tired of it. Our children are not for you to learn lessons from. Are you listening to me, government? Because you've said it to me 3 times. You failed me as a looked after child. Sorry, lessons have been learned. You call me a fucking terrorist and a violent armed robber and try and nick me kid. Sorry, lessons have been learned. And then you failed me son, all forms of abuse, to the extent I got a priority report this flat, £5,000. Oh, sorry, lessons have been learned. Theresa May, you're having a fucking laugh. I'm going to say how it is, because I'm thrust passion for change. I've been battered all my life. All my life. I choose my therapy. I went to my doctor today. I don't want no pills, doctor. I'm not going to work. No, I'm not. This is my therapy. And my therapy is being a voice for you people. Because social services, they're a disease in our community. And the government don't want to listen to it. And I'll say to you, government, when a family takes the law into their own hands, the blood's on your hands, Theresa May, and you, David Lidington, Mr Lidington, the Justice Secretary, and you, Elizabeth Truss, and you, MP Jackie Dole-Price, the lot of you, right? Because our city are week in, week out raising awareness on your social workers. Now, if a family does take the law into their own hands, I'm not gonna defend anybody that's committed crime and broke laws, because I've come a long way with not doing that. Because I like to keep the moral high ground. The same reason I don't share baby posts. I can't afford to be gagged. I'm sorry if you'd be offended by that. But let's go back to the issue of, you know, these social workers. When are we going to see a social worker in court? You know, it was only the other day, I'm looking at someone's Facebook Live, and I'm seeing them, I'm hearing that somebody's daughter's been walked to her death. She's hung herself. The pressure, nowhere to turn. And when she does turn to people, what does she get? Victimisation of the social workers, mate. Proper. And then they hound their mother. When can this mother grieve for her daughter? I'm furious, man. Big shout going out to everyone in Ireland, and I mean that. Please share this, because I'm sending this on to government. You know, you've got police officers going around people's houses, making a meal out of a molehead. Why? Why? Why can't people just be left alone to grieve? They've been through enough pain. People like me, you know, targeted because I was a fair looked after child. I'm 43 years of age. Are you going to target my children? Do ask. As soon as this Mr Barnes case is finished, I'm going to get a restraining order out on social services. There's 3 reasons why I'm going to get a restraining order out on social services. 1 being my son, 1 being my daughter, and 2 being me, fair looked after child. Stinks, mate. The same very reason children are being removed in this community. They're being failed at the hands of the social workers, and worse. Criminal convictions when they're in care, drug problems, kids before they're 16, self-harming, mental health problems. And do you know who gets the shitty end of the stick of that? The fucking police, mate. What did the government do? Cut their budget 19.6 million. Oh, we'll give you a 1% rise. You've got to find the other 1% from your reserves. Well, let me tell you, government, the reason I'll shout for the police is because they need to protect the children. Them reserves of the police are for serious crime, to protect this community from terrorism, violent armed robbery, murder investigations, serious rape investigations. That's what this reserve money's for. I can't believe it. But what we'll say is, thanks a lot for all the money that was given to Tower Hamlets Police to recruit 39 more officers. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say thanks for that. Because that means there's more protectors for children. You know? I've always knocked the police, and I've always called them wankers when they've gone past me. Always put 2 fingers up when I was a kid. Fuck you, the old Bill and all that, give them loads of grief. I'm telling you. And someone came around to me and went to me, Jack, you can't beat them, join them. I chose the wrong path and went with the criminals. And enjoyed it. I'll never change what I do. You know? And this government needs to wake up and smell the coffee. They don't even know the first page about me. They only know what's on paper. Big shout, Babs.
Right, I've got to get a lot of comments in there.
Please do.
Right. Becky Brassington's getting a red hat.
Hats off to you, Becky Brassington. I hope it all goes well for you in court.
Martina Ward, the government are meant to represent us, not rule us.
Exactly. You look at the Pendragons,
That's
the white
exactly
Pendragons.
who their icon is, Pendragons.
Right. Yeah. Well, we need to give the people a voice. Follow them. Carry on.
Right, CJ, I'm angry, pissed off I wasn't allowed to tell my children what happened in court today because the contact worker didn't know what had been said to them.
But the thing is, let me just touch on each comment as we go,
Yep.
because this CJ, she's a girl close to my heart, and CJ, my heart's with you, and I mean that, and I'll take my hat off to you. Your kids in long-term foster care, we've got a chance to get your baby back, and we can work with them and do this. But at the same time, to be moving kids from a school where they're settled, that local authority should be ashamed of themselves. You're upheaval. What's the point in upheavaling a child from a school where it's used to, moving it, and it's in long-term care, and then taking it back to the school where it came from? I've been a new boy in school. It's not nice. The mental and emotional abuse it causes to a child to keep moving schools is damaging, and I'm proof of that. Carry on, babes. CJ, love you loads. Stay strong.
Kaylee said, bear with her, she's on her way home, her battery's low. She said, shall not be long, my little warrior in the red hat.
Thanks a lot, Kaylee Marie Morgan. Another part of this community of forced adoption. Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. Thanks a lot, girl.
Coy Garcia, I hope I've said that right. Crime is crime. Kidnap other people's children is a crime. Lying under oath is a crime, so how could doctors get away with their crime?
It's right, and I mean, in my medical records, there's loads of untruths. On my next Facebook Live, I'm going to share my medical notes with you. What the doctor put about me, and the social worker used it in court to try and take my child. But, again, Riako was commenting again, I forgot it there where I was on one. I nearly went off on a rant then. Garcia.
Right, let me go any further back, hang on. Crime is crime, and kidnapping other people's children is a crime.
And it
So how do they
is,
get
Garcia,
away?
you're right, kidnapped children, and this social worker went into a court, took oath, told a pack of lies, produced a threshold statement, went back to court and tried to adopt my child. Now, if the law doesn't apply to me and her being held to account, I say to government, am I able to go and take this woman's child, cross her threshold violently, take her child and leave? I'm not going to, this is a quote, right? I could take her child and I can't be held to account because I haven't committed nowhere near as bad as an offence as what she has, even though I entered her home. I could only get 4 or 5 years. If I went into her home and I took her child under mitigating circumstances, well, I know this, under mitigating circumstances, I went into her home, took her child and pissed off, right? I'd probably only get a community support sentence, probably 12 months, because of the situation and because of how high profile it is. But I'm not stupid. I'm going to stay on the model high ground because them kids in care, they need me. Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. So please share this. Fire away, babes.
Martina Ward, how do you fight a case you can only see half the evidence of?
That's what the local authority had. Half of the evidence, because I held most of my evidence until the final trial. And then when I got to the court, on my final trial, I then submitted the rest of my evidence, which was too late because she was on the stand. So try and hold back as much evidence as you can from your social workers. It's nothing to do with them. I don't get in a boxing ring or a cage or a fight and say, I'm going to punch you in the face and I'm going to try and get you on the floor. You don't do it, do you? So keep all your paperwork, and any paperwork you need to give to the solicitor, get him to take a copy. I did the same. Fire away.
Daniel Greenwood, respect, so true.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Han Lu Teng, my pre-birth assessment started this week. Think it's going okay, but I don't trust them. Also trying to appeal to see my kids in foster care.
Good luck, Han Lu Teng. I had a conversation with you the other day. I had a nice chat with you. You've got a really good support network around you. As long as you get them to go to the meetings with you. Your support network. Do you know what I mean? The family. We're a family, man. We're all going. This is our concern. So Henry Tech, you know, get your support network to go with you, and I'll take my hat off to your geezer. Make sure you stick to him like glue. Every meeting go together. Don't separate. Go on, Bobs.
Donna Electric Shock first said she is here but she's just stuffing her face. And then she said she's just cheered in the middle of the street.
Thanks a lot, Donna, for joining us and sharing.
CJ wants you to go to Felixstowe on your megaphone. She's also said I'm not messing around with county calls. I want high courts now. I want my children to be heard.
I mean, it's heartbreaking, babe, because her case is over now. But this is a case, and I can echo it because it was in the tabloids of CJ. She was screaming for help. The worst happened with her baby was a cot death. The social workers failed that woman badly.
Oh, seriously?
Badly. I've seen and heard all about her case. CJ, it's long-term foster, and I'm going to go out my way to help you get these kids out of foster care. And as soon as I get up to this government and I start having chats with government, you're on there, mate. You're on that list to be having, what about this? Because you're my community, you know, and that's why I'm here, for you. Because it goes on. Sorry, Bobs.
Diane Edwards letting you know, Diane won Thurrock Council Neil laugh out loud. So I might need a bit more information on that, but sounds pretty good.
That sounds alright. For the council, they're getting rid of all their looked after children because they know I'm going to seek to remove their children after the Misty Barnes case is concluded.
Tracy Morris, yep, for showing their ugly bakes for an hour and claim their £300, probably spent it on their next child victim.
Exactly.
Daniel Greenwood, how many lives have been destroyed in the UK?
The thing is, babes, I'm going to say it's class cleansing. I've wrote all of the figures down.
I have statistics on this. From the year ending the 31st of March 2016, there was 70,440 children were in the care of local authorities.
Children's safety is of paramount. Tell me it's not class cleansing for people leaving uni. Extravagant wages, listen.
Apparently it was 56%, which worked out at 36,670 were boys, and 44%, which is 30,780 were female. 4,190 when children were adopted by couples.
Tony Blair raised these targets, for adoptions and long-term fosters.
11%, which is 500, children adopted by single parent, single adopter. And 9.6%, which is 450, children adopted by same-sex couples.
And there was a death just recently.
Yeah, that's still under...
That's why I'm not going into it.
That one's a gritty teeth one.
Loud woman, no. And babes, they say, oh no, we don't want to privatise social care because we don't want it to be for profit. But when you look into it, it's the children's services. It's not children's safety is a paramount, and it is for profit.
Of course
right across the board. And what you've got in these professionals, babes, is cutting and pasting. Social
In a big
workers
way.
not even registered. MPs taking blind eye to complaints that are being drafted to them at their surgeries.
Right, Nick Jacobs said, oi oi.
Oi, oi.
CJ, no, it's been spent on wine, their nights out. My children told me today that if they ask the foster carer for a drink, she shouts at them. Chris Griffin, Jack, our children are not there to be learnt. I think she means they're not lessons to be learnt by the local authority.
Well, I've said this to the government. My kids are not there to learn lessons from or any other. Because I'm here. I'll stay here week in, week out. You know, I've refused money off my chief executive, Lynn Carpenter of Thurrock Council. She's the chief executive, common knowledge. Tried to give me a sweetener to be quiet on social media. This is the chief executive of my council. I'm here to give children a voice. I'm not here to suck the lollipop of the establishment. I've got no friends aboard that ship. And when I get aboard that ship, I'm going to rock it violently and see who can swim. Because politics needs to change in this country. Well, toffee knows I'm better than you attitude. And what are you doing for the country? It's on its knees. I'd love the NHS to be the best, and I'd love the police to be the best. And the only way we're going to have that is if we combat social care. Because It's the cause of all the playground squabbles in all the domestic disputes that the police have to go and sort out. Stretching the resources and the police, you know what I mean? The councils and the government, the police are not doing a good job. It's elastic band waiting to snap. Do you know what I mean? And these councils, these professionals, when they all come out of uni and join places like the councils and these places, when there's inquiries or any judicial reviews or anything like that, professional avoidance. And when you get sins like Grenfell Tower, and they say, it's corporal manslaughter, which is a fine. Corporate manslaughter. How's that accountability for the people? You know what I mean? And when it was just after it happened and they're going on, what we're going to do is we're going to put scaffold around this Grenfell Tower, and then we're going to cover it before the people's eyes with Monoflex. That's what we're going to do. Fuck the kids. We won't be giving them counselling. We'll spend loads of money on scaffold. We'll spend loads of money on Monoflex. And what have they done? Cancelled the idea and just left it. I understand there's bodies in there. I understand that. But at the end of the day, the government are taking the piss. Corporate manslaughter. If that was 9 Elms, would it have been treated different? One of the penthouse flats? For George Osborne and co, whoever's got one? Do you know what I mean?
Theresa McGee. Secret courts need to be abolished. You can protect children's identities. Maybe a journalist present just to get the gist of the pain and humiliation parents are subjected to. Witnesses and character reference made available, and family support in the courtroom. Scandalous the way the parent goes into court with your barrister and there's about 10 sitting facing you, ganged up ready to take your child.
I'll tell you what happens. Because I've been with families and I've sat there and watched other families going through it. You don't have to come on and you don't have to come in. You can sit there if you want. And then the barrister comes out and says your kid's gone to adoption. That's what goes on. That's what goes on. And then you get the social workers coming out of the courtroom smiling. Because when my baby was snatched, right, they forcibly took my missus out of the hospital and put her in a taxi out the back of the hospital while I was waiting out the front of the hospital and whisked her off to a refuge.
Manhandled her,
Manhandled her, right? Now, when the social workers knew that my missus had gone off in a taxi with the baby, they came round the back of the front of the hospital, told me that she's already gone to the refuge in a taxi, she's not going to be with you no more. You know what I mean? And then started laughing at me, thought it was funny. And when we got into court and we had to hand the baby over to the barrister, because we didn't want to hand it to the social worker, we handed our baby to the barrister. Give her a cuddle, passed it to my missus, she give her a cuddle, passed it to the barrister. And you had the social worker, 2 of them, Siobhan Connu, who committed perjury to nick my kid, smiling their face off, mate. Trying to wind me out. And you had a room full of police officers in the room waiting for me to kick off. You had a mental health doctor in the same room waiting for my missus to be whisked off under the Mental Health Act. They said she was delusional. And I'll tell you, government, this is a woman I love. My fucking missus isn't delusional. Because behind great man, there's a rock. And we smashed you, government. Your local council, Thurrock Council, we smashed the life out of you in court, mate. Baljet Baines solicitors sent down the road packing, mate. And I'm a failed looked after child and she didn't go to school properly. Take the piss, mate. That's what I've done. Took the right piss out of the establishment. And where's the accountability in that? Where is it? The MP, why is it not Jackie Dole-Price? Why is it not a concern? And I'm here screaming about forced adoption and some serious allegations against your local government. Why are you saying it's a simple maladministration? If it is, why are you not sticking your head up about this live feed? Because I'm going to fucking send it to you. And thrust passion. You're a glorified wealth extractor of the electorate. You and your husband, Jackie Dole-Price. Should be ashamed of yourself. No wonder there's infighting in the Conservative Party. It's because of hashtag Scouts Megaphone, man. And when people wake up and smell the coffee, they realise that class cleansing is going on in this country. Your children. Please share this. @OneMisty. Follow me on Twitter. Please share this, because when you share this, if you want to get back at your government and you want to get back at social workers, share this. Because they don't want me getting out there. don't. They want to keep you quiet. Why do you think my chief executive wants to pay me thousands of pounds to keep quiet on social media? It's not about the money. It's about the change. I've been that failed looked after child. Fire away, babes.
Louise Bent, when will this nightmare ever be over with social services stealing our children?
It will be over one day.
Teresa McGee said, Jack, I wasn't allowed to accompany my daughter into courtroom. I was told to wait outside knowing the pain my child was in. It'd be interesting to find out how old your child was at the time, to be honest, just out of pure nosiness, really.
And the thing is, babes, I felt this is why I shout so much for grandparents, you know, your Sheila Phillipses and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shout for them so much because one of my lives I've done in Southend High Street, and that was raising awareness for the grandparents, saying that they was too old to have the grandkids, the kids, so they sent them off for adoption. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I remember that one.
I went into the High Street and shouted for them, right? Now, these grandparents, these feel the double pain. The double pain. You know what I mean? Seeing their child go through it and then getting ridiculed through a viability assessment where the social worker's talking bollocks. Unbelievable. And these children, these grandchildren, have probably made their first fairy cake, rolled their first bit of pastry with this grandmother. That's why I shout for grandparents. I'd love to have my nan. I'd love to have my granddad. I'd love to have my mum. I'd love to have my dad. They're on this planet. And the reason I don't speak to them, because I'm a fair looked after child. I was a little bastard, mate. Quotation, thrust passion. That's what I was deemed as. And I was a child screaming to be heard. Going home at weekends, getting battered. Going back to the boarding school, getting battered. Is there any wonder why I committed arson and burnt the school down? Because I was with all my mates in prison. Institutionalised. I walk down the road, I smell a bit of burning shrubbery. Institutionalised smell comes back to me. A noise, a typewriter. I could just be walking into a library and there'd be a toffee nose or a girl that thinks she's great on the computer typing away really fast. That'll institutionalise and come back to me. The noise of a typewriter. Bang, I'm off. Do you know what I mean? And this government don't realise these children, when they come out with the care system, this side of it. They don't realise, you know, when they carry on with their life, you know, and the institution comes back into them when they have certain smells, you know, certain noises, do you know what I mean? Certain places, Magnolia, oh fuck, do you know what I mean? Because that's what it was like, you know.
Hanley Tate, the day they took my daughter, they tried to section me like hell. Did I let them? They're evil.
That's the plan they wanted for my missus. If on the first initial court case, they drafted in a mental health woman, which was a doctor, and about 16 police officers. If I did kick off, it would have fucking needed more than 16 coppers, because they needed sprayed a lot. Do you know what I mean? I've got my head screwed on, and I knew what evidence I had. I knew I couldn't produce all that at the first date. I knew he was going to take her. And when I did produce it, they were fucked.
Teresa McGee said her daughter is 34. She's my child, and they took her wee grandson.
It's crazy. They sit there, folks. What frustrates me is the fact that, oh no, you can't place the child there, and you can't place the child there. There's no connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can take the child from the bond, mentally, emotionally abuse it. Now you're going to put it where there's not a connection. You're going to mentally, emotionally abuse it. The only person this child knows now, other than the family, is you, the social worker.
Yep.
You disappear to go home. You've mentally and emotionally abused the child again.
Yep.
So I'll say to you, government, right down the line, from the minute you take this child from a bond, you're mentally and emotionally abusing it. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, I understand that, because we need social workers in this country. There's some good social workers in this country. And I'm going to name a social worker by the name of Andra Marks from Thurrock Council. If Thurrock Council ever get rid of this social worker, they are damn stupid. This woman is fantastic. Social workers need to be there. At the same time, if we have cameras on these social workers, they can be held to account. If we have an independent company doing the footage for this camera stuff, We could then sell that footage to the solicitors who are going through 26-week court process. And with that money, we could give the families that do lose children counselling, so they can put a stop to it, and that's it. You don't go back to them later on and say, pre-birth assessment, we're taking that one and all. Like you're doing to Han Lu Ten. She's part of me, you know. And I'll say to you, government, if anyone goes near that woman, you know, I'm going to be on her case, helping her.
On a lighter note, Donna Electric Shock says they need a giant tube of Caniston because she's heard it gets rid of irritable C's. I ain't going to go that far.
I was given some Caniston because my daughter got sweat marks here. This is a part of my case, Donna. Thanks for touching on it. I'm going to share it with you as a part of my Misty Barnes case. Now, there's travelling all around the country to social workers. You can't stay here, you can't stay there. Oh, you got to go here, you got to go there. So we were forever in the car. The baby got sweat marks here and here from the seat.
Well, she was less than 3 weeks old, so she couldn't exactly lift her arms up and air herself out in 5 minutes.
It transpires that we got given Caniston from a hospital. But the social worker turned around and said, that's from sexual abuse. That's because you've had a, you know what I mean? We want you to go and see our paediatrician. I was so relaxed. I said, what time do you want us to go and see your paediatrician? The social worker said, I want you to take the baby to the paediatrician for 3 o'clock. We said, okay. We got in the car, we went to Southend Hospital. The nearest hospital is Basildon. We skipped Basildon Hospital and went to Southend Hospital. Could we see the paediatrician, please? The baby's got marks here and here. We've been travelling up and down the country. Can you tell us what it is? And yeah, the paediatrician came, got the little red book out. Yeah, it's sweat marks. Yeah, no problem. It's just put some Caniston on it. Can you put it in the red book for us? The paediatrician himself put it in the book. It was a heat rash. A heat rash. So we closed the red book. 3 o'clock, we went to see the social worker's paediatrician, and we didn't say a word. Goes in there. Sits down, can you sign this piece of paper, please? This is to conform on the, this is to say we can assess the baby. So I looked at the form and it said, to obtain all evidence under child abuse, sexual child abuse. I said, I ain't signing that. And I said, and at that, you've just legally done an illegal examination on my baby because I've not signed for that examination. They split my baby open always right in front of me. I'm a fair looked after child. That's what they did to me, right? They said, the paediatrician said, oh, that's because of abuse, them marks. I said, that's funny because we've just been to Southend Hospital, look, got the red book out, showed the paediatrician, and said, you're working for her, you're a liar. Isn't that right, babes?
Yep.
So the social worker and the paediatrician for the social worker, which was in Blackshot at Grays, works hand in hand with the social workers of Thurrock Council. Pure corrupt. Because I can prove it. Thanks a lot for mentioning that, Donna. Caniston.
Just a bit you missed out there as well. When we asked the paediatrician for the paperwork that she wanted us to sign, she snatched it back off us, do you remember, and said, oh, you didn't sign it, so you can't have it.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Because they didn't want us giving it to the solicitor, that's what that was.
Exactly. And then when we look into this woman, it turns round, she's a neurologist. She isn't even a paediatrician.
She could have worked on the social worker's brain, really.
And we've got it all in black and white. And the reason I haven't sued them for it is because I want our NHS to be the best. That's why I haven't sued them for it. And do you know what else the doctor did to me? Changed all my medical notes. Oh, Mr. Barnes said he was going to sit in the bushes and shoot members of the public. Oh, yeah. But they never phoned the police and said, oh, Mr. Barnes is dangerous. Never, not once. But they put it in my medical notes. And the social worker used it in court. That's what they did to me. I could sue the NHS for that, but I don't, because I want the NHS to be the best of what it is. But I tell you, government, and you, Jeremy Hunt, I want it all changed.
Yeah, don't forget the main important
And I'll tell you, Jackie Dole Price, I've already got 3 copies of my National Health. I've got my NHS records, Jackie Dole Price MP. So don't change anything, because I've got copies of it, black and white proof. So I know you're the Secretary to the Treasury, Jeremy Hunt of the NHS. So I hope you do change something, Jackie, because I'll catch you out for it.
And also, don't forget the main part of your medical records, that you was going to go to a prison to meet someone when they're released, bearing in mind they committed suicide years and years before.
Yeah.
That was the good one. And my medical records state that Misty's birth is completely wiped off of there. So they're doing well on our medical records. They'll wipe us off one day off the medical records.
There's a hell of a lot what the NHS done to us. I mean, my missus has got loads of stitches inside and out, inside, unrecorded on her medical notes, injections unrecorded on her medical notes. We've got proof of all this. So MP Jackie Dole Price, don't think you're clever for taking off people's files, because I do believe my files have gone missing. Yep. The NHS files, and we can prove it. So they've only gone missing ever since this MP Jackie Dole Price has been working there. I'm not saying she took them off there, but it's coincidentally they've disappeared. But I'll tell you, we've got everything from the NHS through the Misty Barnes case, so we're twice as fast.
Edward Thomas said, 5th of November next month, I'm sure we can throw the social workers on the bonfire for a bit.
Exactly. Hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man, the 5th of November. I'm going to legally commit treason in the UK on forced adoption and bring down my government, because you can't go to court and commit perjury and nick people's kids. I think you're going to get away with it. Not in my house.
Kaylee said that her little boy, he had a nappy rash and they pinned him down when he was, I'm sure she said 6. And, no, sorry, a bit younger than that. They pinned him down on the floor, pulled his trousers down and ripped his nappy off and examined him. And this was a shy little boy they took out clean out of his comfort zone.
So they humiliated and mentally abused this little boy.
But can you imagine if the social worker had said to Kaylee, for example, we think your son's got marks on him, and she stood in front of them and ripped his trousers down and pulled his nappy off and said, well, have a look then. They'd go,
Can you imagine
you've
what
emotionally
JJ did?
abused.
Can you imagine what JJ
I wouldn't like to think of it.
Babe, it would mortify him.
You teach children that it's rudy nudies. You teach children that you're not supposed to show people that, especially strangers, and they're a social worker just takes it upon themselves to touch. Is that not sexual assault? Because if I walked up and put my hand, not that I would, on a social worker's bum or something, I'd be done for sexual harassment or sexual assault. But you can take a child and you can take his clothes off it and nothing happens.
It's another door for them, babes. I'll say to you, government, it's only going to be a matter of time and I'm going to be sitting here because the families took the law into their own hands, where you're nicking their kids or you've caused turmoil in the family. Because there's people in the UK, Theresa May, they're dangerous, mate. I'm off the street, and I'm going to tell you, government, there's some dangerous people in this country. I know some serious people, fanatical people, right? I'm not going to sit here bragging, but what I will say, government, is, how many times would you light a firework and try and go back to it to light it again? Because up to now you've done it to me. How many other people have you done it to in the country? How many people, you government, have pissed off through social workers? And if someone takes the law into their own hands, I don't condone any crime. But I can't stop everybody from committing crime. They're people's kids. Not kids. Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable. And I'll say to you, Theresa May, the blood's on your hands. And you, Mr. Lidington, and you, Jackie Dole Price. Because all of you have all been warned. Do you know, this forced adoption, this perjury, week in, week out. Look what social workers are doing. Look at the pain in the head they're causing in families. Do you know what I mean? Look at the children suffering in the care system. You're spouting your mouths off in Parliament on a daily basis, you know, fucking about with Brexit. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Look at the country. It's on its knees. And I'll say to you, Theresa May, you're squeezing out household budgets, and it's only going to be a matter of time before people start saying, right, crime will pay. Do you know what I mean?
2-year-old Kaylee's little one was when they did that.
It's bad, babes.
Daniel Greenwood, he said, they watched me go in and out of hospital when I was a kid. Kaylee said again, I know, they've pinned my 6-year-old to the stairs because he wouldn't listen to them. 3 other witnesses, and the woman claimed I done it. So the woman claimed that she did it, bearing in mind there were 3 other witnesses.
I mean, to be restraining a 6-year-old kid, babes, do you know what I mean?
Why do you physically need to put your hands on a child? You wouldn't walk up to someone in the street who were having an argument or something, and you wouldn't start grabbing hold of them and putting them to the floor, right, sort yourselves out.
There was a post of a baby with all marks all over
I
the
know.
arms here.
It's disturbing.
You know what I mean? Where's the accountability for that? Oh, he's not going to pick the baby up no more. You know what I mean?
It's disgusting. Especially now, I'm not going to go all sexist on it, but 99% of the time they say that men are quite a bit stronger than women, right? It may be disputed, and I've got a feeling that Donna's going to put a post up to that.
Donna the hooker.
Don't say that.
She plays rugby.
Yeah, but clarify it.
I'm sorry, Donna, if you felt offended, but I know you're laughing at it.
But what would possess an adult to grab a child? To grab a child? Do you see what I'm saying? It's raw. Antonio, I'm going to move on because I'm going to get the ump. Antonio, I hope I say this right, Savario. They tried to get me with mental emotional abuse because my son relayed a conversation I had with someone on the phone stating social workers took kids for money. So the kids are saying, you take children. I heard my daddy say, you take children for money. Oh, we're doing you for mental and emotional harm. What, for telling the kids the truth? Oh, can we do you for mental and emotional harm for taking them in the first place then?
Can we look at the statistics of your council with the fair looked after children, and you're telling me? I'll be putting it to them. I'll be putting it to them. And I'll say to you, Theresa May, and I'm going to say it as plain as I'm going to say it. If this council would have adopted my baby, I would have been plastered all over that telly for fucking weeks, mate. Weeks. I'll sit here week in, week out. I've not committed one criminal offence in 5 years of campaigning to get my kid back. Not once have I committed an offence. Yeah, I'll see on the television, Ada Bellagio, I'll see others on the TV, you know, killing people. They're all over the telly. They're all over the telly. Why is that? And I'd like to say that to you, Theresa May, and the BBC. Why do you choose to put all these kind of people on the TV and give them that platform? I haven't committed no offences in forced adoption and children being alienated from their loved ones. I've not once committed a criminal offence. Because I continue to sit here barking my head off and not biting, the government try and choose to ignore it. And I'll tell all you people in the States, I'm so thankful that you join this show and you do share it. Australia, I'm so thankful. The Philippines, Africa, I love it. You know, my friend's due to come back from Africa and we're going to have a good party. He's already said. And I can't wait. Nice bloke. You know, and I'm getting popular. But the thing is, the more friends I make, the bigger change I can make. Because this is a world thing. It's a world problem, forced adoption. It's not just the UK. You know, parents being alienated. It's a world problem, you know. And I'll say to our government, I believe a combated social care is a successful therapy for me as a failed looked after child to make good change and make families be the best of what they can be. You know what I mean? We don't want to be using food banks, and we want to bring all them people, 80,000 posts covered, we want them filled at the NHS, do you know what I mean? We want to give the police the budget back. Do you know what I mean? Theresa May. You're saying 1 minute we're skin, next minute you're sending millions of pounds off to Northern Ireland, you're selling millions of pounds off to the Caribbean, do you know what I mean? You're not skin, Theresa May.
Kaylee said, when do you want me to come and see you with the megaphone then, Jackie?
I've got plans to go having a protest. And I'm going to go to Petty France, the Justice Secretary, and I'm going to shout my mouth off. I'm going to shout the fact that I can prove perjury for the council, and this donut chooses to ignore it. And that's what it is, because he's going to be standing there looking like one with his mouth wide open when I get there. These buildings are so high down there, the roads are so close down there, I know at the back of my hand, because I used to do chauffeuring in London, right? I know London probably better than most of the coppers, do you know what I mean? So, I know when I get down there on my megaphone, it's going to bounce off every single building. They'll hear it round the corner at Scotland Yard. They'll probably laugh at it. Because I'll be shouting for them and all. Because the children need a protector. And Mr. Lidington, I'm coming to your offices. And I'm going to cause so much noise. I'm going to embarrass the life out of you. Because you took oaths to this country, allegiances to the Queens and the heirs of the thrones to this country, David Lidington, the Justice Secretary, just like your predecessor, Elizabeth Truss, who chooses to ignore it. Pictures on my profile, me and her in the pub and Jackie Dole Price. It was all good when we was in the pub. The minute they got what they wanted, they was off, mate. And I'm going to embarrass the both of them, Liz Truss and the Justice Secretary David Lidington, because today he still chooses to ignore and he's got no concerns on more videos. How's he to hold anyone to any justice? Do you know what I mean? Why can't he say, excuse me Mr Barnes, what's that all about? Why doesn't the Justice Secretary say that to me? Because he'll go and listen to the glorified wealth extractor, MP Jackie Dole Price, and listen to the bullshit that comes out of their mouth. When all you MPs, you only know half of the story. Because if you're getting your information from Thurrock Council's records, it's a load of bollocks.
I suggest you sit down and do a jigsaw, you'd have more pieces there. It's shocking.
You need to address this, Theresa May, because you're an MP in your party. You know, that's why there's infighting in this Conservative Party. They're pissed off the fact that I'm here now twice a week. Taking the piss, mate. Fucking right. Because I'm a failed looked after child and I'm shouting for you. Fire away, babes.
Sorry, your sister just made me laugh. The
thrust passion for changing, that's the children's word for the English, the Oxford English Dictionary. Thrust passion. Frustrated at the same time passionate.
Chris Griffin, the courts told me I was paranoid and was out of line for teaching my children the underwear rule never to show anyone.
But they'll teach sex education. You know, my kids coming out of school giving it, oh, I know about sex. I know about... Do you know what I mean? Yet they split, social workers split their mouths on about the parents about stuff like that. I know. Joke, mate.
Kaylee, the social worker who grabbed my 6-year-old, runs from me now because I shout at her with a megaphone. Daniel Greenwood, I've got scars all over my face from childhood.
Self-harm, babes. It's a self-harmer, you know? And when these kind of people go into... They commit an offence, right? They don't mean what they're doing. They end up in a young offenders institution where they're beaten up by the prison officers. You know, the big burly ones that think they're tough.
Oh, mushroom men.
Yeah, mushroom men. Fuck off, mushroom, the bacon's burning. You know what I mean, little man? Go on,
His microwave.
And I'll say to any prison officer that's doing this in these young offenders institutions, you're fools, mate. You're not big men, you know, hitting these young offenders and these self-harmers in these young offenders institutions. They've been failed on so many levels, and you take it upon yourselves to be abusing them by beating them up. You ain't big men, you prison officers that are doing it.
Tracy Morris, we need to make some noise over here, Jack. It would be great to have you over here at the conference I'm planning in 6 weeks' time.
I mean, Tracy, I mean, I'm touched by your story. I mean, I probably know the ins and outs of what from your life, because I have sat there and analysed it and had a good look at it, you know. And my heart's with you, girl. I mean, I touched a little bit on it earlier, but I didn't want to go into it too much because I didn't want you to feel offended. But I'd love to come, you know. I've got friends in Liverpool that march, all part of the Carsons and all the rest of it. I'm not going to go into it, but the people I grew up with, you know, and I'd love to come over there. You know, I've heard that Britain First have based themselves over there, you know. There's a few political parties out there, and I urge any political party that wants to give children a voice in the hashtag Scouse megaphone, man, contact me, because I'll specialise social services, and the first thing I'll say to the MPs is, what do you know? Fire away, Bobs.
There's a nice one here actually from Louise Bent. When I got the judgment from my son's adoption and placement orders, I will never forget these words the foster carer wrote in the contact book. Her words were, "No words will ever take away the pain, and will ever take the pain away you are feeling now. I promise I will look after your son until a placement is found. I wish I could keep him. I meant that from the bottom of my heart." You don't find many foster carers like that.
Babes, the last Facebook, I'll take my hat off to this foster parent, and many others that do it. But you've got another girl there, I think it was Louise Bent.
That is Louise Bent, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
The thing is, babes, you've got a foster parent there that wants to work with the family, clearly wants the best interest of the child. And what's the fucking social worker doing? Well, I'll say to you, government, this is how it is. What's the social worker doing, babes? Causing conflict, mate.
Oh no, we can't leave the child with you, you'll look after it. Sorry, we've got to give it to someone else now.
Then you say to the foster parent, oh, you can't get too close to the child. I understand that because the child moves on. But it doesn't matter, the child's going to gain a bond.
Yeah.
So you're mentally, emotionally abusing, moving it. And these kids, babes, I must have had about 18 placements. All in all. I got alcohol poisoning in a care home. Fell looked after child. No wonder they don't want to give me my fucking notes, because they know what I'm going to do with them. I can prove. I think I can prove. The social worker that stole my child and said I was a terrorist and a violent armed robber was my social worker when I was a child. I'm 43 now. And if I can prove this shit, you're fucked, government. Because I want an explanation, and I want it a damn right quicker than what you're going to offer it. Because otherwise I'll give my life to children. Because I'm a failed looked after child. There's no fucking way on this earth am I going to sit here week in, week out, seeing murderers being plastered all over the TV and I'm being left out. So I'm telling you, government, you need to start waking up a little bit more. Because I'm 43 years of age. If that doctor turns around to me and says, Jack, you've got cancer, you're fucked. That's my kid, right? You can't hold me to account for fucking handling stolen goods and put me in bastard prison for handling a stolen car. And then you fucking nick my kid, government. You're taking the piss. And I'm thrust passion for change. And I'm sending you this to say, fucking up yours, government. I'm staying here week in, week out on forced adoption and children being alienated. You're taking the piss, mate. And if you want to take me out and kill me, you fucking do that, government. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to stay here every week, twice a week. And I'm telling you, Theresa May, it needs to be addressed. Because if a family does take the law into their own hands, I am going to laugh in your face, mate. And I'm going to be making sure the finger's pointed at you, family. And you, Mr. Lidington.
Right.
It's a liberty, babes, the fact that you're getting professional avoidance throughout all inquiries and everything else. What do we say? Fuck you, government. The government are that stupid. The amount of people that have come into this country.
Yeah.
How the fuck do they know what's in this country? They don't know what guns are here. They don't know fucking shit, mate. And if I wanted to be ruthless, I could come at you and you wouldn't even know it. I've got no intentions of committing a criminal offence. But you need to sort this, Theresa May. Because at the end of the day, people are getting pissed off now. People are getting frustrated. It's getting beyond frustration. Because it's a fucking piss take. My legal team, why aren't I in court? I'm starting to think. Why? I'm starting to think, do you know what? Fuck it. Watch. That's the way I think now. I'm not going to go out and commit no offences, but that's the way I think. The same way I thought when I was in the court process. If they adopt my fucking child and don't listen to my evidence, and I'll take my hat off to Judge Lynn Roberts. She told me, don't break no offence, don't commit no break no laws, don't climb no roofs. I've not done that. I've not done that. I want to help. I want to help. I want to make social care be the best. That's what I want to do. And if you want to hold me back, government, I'll go the same way as the suffragettes and any other fucker that's got justice at the end of it. Because at the end of the day, children are screaming to be heard. They're screaming to be heard. I don't want no one to commit any offences, but I'm going to tell you, government, there's going to become a time when we're going to say, right, fuck you, watch. When your police go on strike, what are you going to do? Protecting all the unions, that's what this Labour government do, Parliament. You don't come to me and go, oh Jack, oh, we're Labour, we're going to hold the government to account. It's shocking what they've done. Unbelievable. I'm human, just like the rest of them. And I'll tell you, government, and all you MPs, you come here with nothing and you go with nothing. Greed, mate. Root of all evil. And I'm not even here for money, I'm here for change. And what do I say? Fuck it. I'm going to take you for every penny I can and then I'm going to come at you. Dictatorship. Dictatorship. It is dictatorship, our government. Follow the white pen dragons. Right? Taking back control. I'll fucking listen to them guys. You know? And they're not full of shit. They're patriotic lads. And I look at them outside that High Court and I sit there and I think, do you know what? They're fucking screaming about every area in the UK. This is our country. Fire away, babes.
Right.
I'm just frustrated at the fact that I've got to sit here and listen to families crying on the phone, just like other people like Donna and others. Kaylee, you know, Chris Griffins, you know, your Tracy Morrises. We've all been through it, you know, and there we are listening and being a rock for these families that haven't got a clue. You know, your Becky Brassingtons, we're there for these people, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't know, do you know what I mean? And we're there, they're rock. It mentally and emotionally abuses us. Do you know what I mean? Listening and to them mothers crying, please, Jack, please, please. It fucking fucks you up. After what I've gone through, you know, I can deal with that. Because listening to that woman or that father, you know, it's more therapy. It's more therapy to try and do good for them, you know. And the government choose to ignore it to this day. The MP says it's a simple maladministration, forced adoption. Jack Barnes. No, it isn't. It's right across the fucking UK.
Joy Johnson. No one should go through the pain of losing their babies when they have done nothing. They have done never done anything wrong. And that, I mean, we've said this a few times, haven't we? What you got to remember is, and people in Parliament, it was all right watching that. What was it? Babies debate, wasn't it? And all these MPs sitting there and they're crying and they say, "Oh, I lost my child, and you know, I had a stillbirth, and I had a miscarriage." That's terrible, don't get me wrong, and I sympathise with any woman that's been through that. But you know when you've got that feeling you want to stand up in Parliament and say to them, "Excuse me, try grieving for a child that's stolen, that's not dead."
No, I won't.
No, you won't. Try grieving for a child that's not dead. You've got a grave to go and cry by. We've got empty cots.
And you don't get no new identity, like these child killers.
Yeah, but it's not even with the child killers. You hear these MPs and they get an hour on the nose. "Oh, when I lost my child, I was so upset, and oh, my husband got..."
Stillbirth, oh yeah, I'll deliver this.
Yeah.
So what?
We don't get 10 minutes on the TV to say,
No one wants
"Excuse
to hear
us."
what you've gone through. Look what the country's at its knees.
Exactly.
You're there in a position to save the country. That is a privileged job in the country, to save for your community. And it's supposed to be taken serious. It's to line their own fucking pockets.
Of course it is.
You get a children's debate, no one turns out. Expenses Day, it's put your best clothes on and all your Tom. Turn up, 300 quid for turning up. Expenses Day, oh yeah, look, packed to the rafters. Do you want me to tell you something, government? Your Parliament now's in scaffold. I'm like a fucking chimp on scaffold. I have you that. I tell you that. And I'll say to you, government, I can stand scaffold tubes up on my fucking knees. And when I get on scaffold, there'll be no fucking catching me on it. I'm not saying I'm gonna, but it's tempting to get on your fucking tower. And I could get on your tower without even fucking touching within 100 feet of the floor around the tower.
I've got to get this in quick. Louise Bent. "Jack, I have the police here and they have asked me to turn off your live. I told them no chance. You don't like it, leave my home, as it has taken you 2 weeks to come out about the harassment."
Who's this?
Louise Bent. "The harassment I've suffered from the addicts because I told them I wasn't helping out with money, kicking my door, banging on it all hours of the day and night."
That's what I mean, isn't that harassment in itself? Do you know what I mean? This woman's gone through social services. Why can't someone sit down with this family and say, right, this is how it is, start to finish, and then they're not wasting the police resources? Because at the minute, we've got probably 3 or 4 police officers banging on this mum's door, probably scaring her, you know what I mean? Wasting the police resources because of social services.
No, the police have gone round there because she's made a complaint. The addicts are banging on her door saying, "We want money, money, money." And she's saying, "No, I'm not giving you money." But it's taken the police 2 weeks to get round to see her.
Yeah, but babes, this is where we go back to the same old thing as the budget.
Yep.
The fucking police's fault. Now, the prisons are packed to the rafters. Listen to me. A big shout going to all the boys who are behind the door that follow me and watch my lives. Because Mr. Lidington, the Justice Secretary, he has not got control of the prisons, and there's mobile phones in prison, and they happen to follow me. Now, I forgot what I was on there.
You were saying about the prisons are full to the rafters.
The prisons are full to the rafters. The police budget's been cut 19.6 million. They're not going to get round to you in 5 minutes. They're not. Because of Theresa May and the Treasury. That's why. Squeezing all the services. You know? It was Jeremy Corbyn promising money from all over the place. Oh yeah, we'll cut tuition fees, we'll do this, we'll give that, and we'll... Where's the money coming from? We're going to hold government to account. Why am I sitting here accusing local government, Thurrock Council for perjury, nicking my kid? I can prove it. It's shocking. It's absolute shocking the way they can hold me to account for handling stolen goods. A car, 600 quid or thereon. They put me in prison for that. There wouldn't be thieves if there weren't people like you, Mr. Barnes. 6 months. That's what they did to me. Yet a social worker can go in court, tell a load of lies and nick my kid. You go back to court and try and defend their perjury, and try and adopt my kid. And where's the accountability? Where's the accountability? Yet if I go and take her child, because the law doesn't apply to me, if I go and take her child, I'll be held accountable for that. I'll be done for abduction. That's what I'll be done for. And a load of lies put on top by her and her family. Because I'm there on my own. I'm not going to commit no offences. I've been here 5 years doing this. And I'll say to you, government, Donald Trump's coming to this country, and I'd love to meet Donald Trump and have a chat, because I'll show him anything he wants to see regarding the Misty Barnes case or my son's case. Because social workers got no medium. You failed my son, left him suffer all forms of abuse, all the authorities were making referrals, the social worker did nothing. Mentally, the damage it's done to my son. They've just given me money for therapy. Accepted all liability for it. The council have. Now, they stole my daughter on future risk of harm. The same very social worker. I asked for my files from when I was a child. All of a sudden, there is none. Because I can sit there and say, I think I can prove my social worker who stole my daughter was my social worker when I was a child. The same social worker. Where's my files? The same very files, what they said there is none. They were the same very files the social worker used in the court to try and adopt my child, Misty. It's full of shit. And I'll say to you, government, is that how it's got to be? Crooked? Is it got to be thug meet thug? Because that's the way it seems. You're holding all the community to account on various things, yet when you're in the shit, oh, it's different. Grenfell Tower, oh, corporate manslaughter, fine. What about all the human shields that put the meeting together to change the cladding? It's organised, isn't it? Salami slicing on money. Cost cutting, mate. What were they saving? £2.50 a square metre? Or whatever they're on.
It was something around them lines, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. And it's just corporate manslaughter because the salami slicing on the cost. People lose their lives. Yeah, if it was 9 hours, there'd be fucking uproar now. There'd be all sorts of inquiries going on over it. Money lost, the people involved, everything. Yeah, because it's Grenfell Town, it's treated different. Bothers me. It bothers me. Because I've put a lot into my country. I've been good. I've been a pain in the arse to the establishment growing up. But I was never a violent thief, you know, handling stolen goods. I set my school on fire when I was a child, the school on fire because I was a child. Being battered in a boarding school, being battered at home. I wanted to go to prison. I burnt the gym of a school down. Handling stolen goods, smoked a bit of weed and got caught. That doesn't make me a bad parent. I got my kid back. It's common knowledge what I've done. You know? And you've got stupid idiots who want to try and run me down at times. Knowing what I've been through. They're not laughing now. There's warrants probably after them. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to go to court on these matters. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be laughing when the welcome committee's waiting for them behind the door. Don't do that to me. I'm taking a piss out of my good nature, helping people, because I don't have to do this. I do believe if I went quiet on social media, I would be dealt with like that. But I'm not going to do it, because I want change. I want to get up there, you know. I've not been to uni, you know. I've got the life skills to turn it around for kids, man. Why is that such a bad thing? Is it because the government are class cleansing? You know? Extortionate rent in the city? Moving everybody out? Everyone's getting shipped off up north? Everyone forgets about the north, all the MPs. All the money's put into the south. You can blatantly see it. Manchester gets money. You know? But it should be fair right across the board. Durham doesn't get nothing. Windermere, all round Cumbria, doesn't hardly get anything. Ulverston, Hull. Do you know what I mean? Middlesbrough, coming down the coast. Do you know what I mean? It's a piss take. Yeah, you get Devon and Cornwall where all the nice second houses are, or the little, my summer house down in Devon in the hills and the Cotswolds and all that. You know what I mean, babes?
Yep.
Exactly what it is, mate. That's where all the money goes.
It's true.
And I'll say, this universal credit, when it gets rolled out, mate, the social workers are not going to be equipped, because they're just going to target who they want, and they're going to slapdash the paperwork and get it rushed through court. Exactly what they're going to do. Because these private landlords, mate, there's going to be some people. It's all right, Theresa May sitting in Parliament saying, "Oh yeah, you can get prepayments before you get any more." While you're waiting for your 6 weeks to be sorted out, you can get an interim payment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What a load of rubbish. Try walking in the job centre as Billy Bragg and try and do that.
Yeah, but also where you're being stitched up is right. If your money gets stopped, they say, "Oh, we can't help you, sorry, you need to go and get a food bank voucher." So you tottle yourself down to the council and you say, "Excuse me, I need a food bank voucher." You've got to go citizen advice. So you go all the way down to citizen advice. No, you've got to go back to the council. You go back to the council, not move until you give me a food bank voucher. I've got kids.
And you're embarrassed at the fact that you need to do this, and this is what you've got to do, with the embarrassment on your shoulders.
Yeah, but you're pushed to the point where you've got to say, "I've got children." Soon as you say that, what do they say to you?
Referral.
Oh, we'll get someone to come down. So right, so who's this woman here? I'm a social worker. I don't need you. I'm the one that gives the food bank vouchers out. Oh, are you now? That's very convenient. You give the food bank vouchers out. So straight away, what's your name so I can write it on here? No, what's your name so I can write it down on this? That's going to be an anonymous referral that I'm going to use later on.
On a welfare check.
To say your kids were starving and they were in the council begging for food, eating out the bin and God knows whatever else.
Yeah, but they'll miss Pelka.
It's a exactly.
They'll miss Pelka. Let's not
That
forget
boy
that.
was eating out of the bin.
Exactly. He was picking things up off the floor. He was nicking packed lunch boxes and in-packed lunch boxes in the school. What did the parents get?
He was eating an apple core out of the bin. He was eating the apple core. And no one flagged it up. The teachers at first didn't flag it up. The parents get a smack on the wrist. This boy died. This boy died in horrendous circumstances. For what? Because social worker couldn't be asked to get off her backside and say, "I'll tell you what, we better go and have a look there." It was just quick enough. Baby P, the same thing. The kid's got bruises. How can you say it was covered by chocolate? Can you imagine if you tried to pass that one off in the council? Can you imagine if you'd had a domestic with your other half and you got a mark on your face and you smeared yourself with chocolate? Oh, sorry about that. Me and my kids have just been eating something, you know. No, mate, it's wrong.
It just gets to the stage where you think, what's the fucking point? What is the point? Do I apply to be euthanised? What's the point? Being in a society under a regime, that's what I'm going to call it. Because up to now, I've had my child stolen, I've had my son failed at the hands of the state, I've had my housing association carbon monoxide poison me and my family. They moved me into a house. "Oh yeah, Mr. Barnes, you've got your child back, we'll move you out of the flat and we'll put you in a house." Signed off the boiler, everything was done. Moved in there. I poisoned me and my family over Christmas. carbon monoxide. Misty was lifeless in my arms. The fight I gave to get that baby back. And I'm holding her lifeless in my fucking arms, mate. Because my housing association, Southern Housing, moved me into a house with a boiler all signed off, okay to use. That's what I've had to suffer. And then when I challenge it on it, and the gas man takes the boiler off the wall, I pick the boiler up. I start to proceed to go upstairs with the boiler. The gas man says, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is my boiler, mate." He went, "No, I've got to take that to Southern Housing." I said, "You tell Southern Housing it's not up for fucking debate, mate. This is my boiler." And I trotted off upstairs with it. The boiler I've had checked out, rusty, all the seals gone in it, should never have been signed off. So I do believe that was an attempt of my life, because the voids manager and the contracts manager of Southern Housing were all happy to say it was all right. So it's on their shoulders. And I'm going to court over it. That's what I've had to put up with. And then I come onto social media and I get dickheads try and run my name down. I'm taking an action against that, and I'm taking it right through to court. And I'm turning up with a smile on my face. That's what I've had to put up with. And I'll sit there and I'll think, the law's not going to fucking hold the government to account. Jeremy Corbyn's going to bullshit and not do what he says. He's not going to hold the government to account. Do you know what I mean? He can talk about Floozy Mary in Parliament over something stupid, but can't talk about my concerns. And he hasn't got a concern about my live feeds. Do you know what I mean? Trees are made the same. And I'll sit there and I'll think, if I go and commit an offence, they're going to turn around and say, "I told you so, look what he was like. We told you he was like that, didn't we?" I'm better than that. I'll apply to be euthanised if I've had enough. Because what's the fucking point? How can I go to work? What, to pay into your dodgy establishment? Tax? If I go to work and I refuse to pay tax, they'll nick me for tax avoidance. So, I'll say to you, government, don't treat me like a fucking Tampax on a string, because I'm not. Right? You need to sort this, government. Forced adoption, the Misty Bones case, children screaming to be heard, right across the board. Parents are sick of being alienated. Because I'm just going to sit here week in, week out and keep doing it. Because Thurrock Council, they've admitted full liability. All of it. They've even paid me money for therapy for my son. Why aren't you coming to address the whole fucking shebang of it? Because I want change in social care. Big change.
Can we clarify that? They've paid us money for little man's therapy. Not wages. Not wages in lieu. Not holiday pay. It's payment for therapy. A few comments quickly. I've got to laugh at you, Susan. I've got to say, she's talking about you getting charges against the people that have been harassing you. She said she wants people to keep their eye out. Police are looking for a girl with brown hair. Smells like a fishy flip-flop, apparently, so you've got to keep your eye out going for her. There's a flip-flop going down, apparently.
You haven't seen anyone that smells like a fishy flip-flop, do you?
Martina Ward says they have ample kids coming their way via doctors, food banks, midwives, etc.
Universal credit, mate.
Yep. Jackie Khan, in Scotland, if you use it, as in the food banks and that, they only give you 3 days of food. And like I said, it's fair enough, but what do you do if you have no gas or electric to cook it on?
And that's what I'll say to these MPs, what do you know?
Joy Johnson, I come from the city that happened to poor Daniel Pelker, and now they're removing children for no reason to avoid it happening again.
I want to give a big shout to anybody that sees this live. Get your child christened and put me down as the godfather. I would love to be the godfather of the UK. Because if social workers get involved in you can just turn around and say, right, I'm giving the child to the godfather, and I'll just tell them to piss off. So I urge anyone out there that wants a godfather for their child, if they're scared of social services or anything to do with social services, if they want a godfather there for their children, I'd love to be the godfather of the UK for the children, because social services are fucking shit scared of me. And I'll tell you that for free.
Paul Wetton, parents have no rights nowadays.
That's because what you've done is you've given your baby a birth certificate. And like I'll say to the government, I've led my life to believe my mum. My mum said, Jack, your name's Jack. Jack. I'm fucking Scouse Megaphone Man. I've named myself as #Scouse Megaphone Man. That's who I am. I'm not leading my life to believe my name's Jack Bones anymore. Only on paper for the establishment. Do you know what I mean? But we're a name and number. On the inside or the outside. We've just got to lump it. Or we need to follow the White Pen Dragons. Because these politicians, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're taking the piss on a proper level. And you've got the White Pen Dragons who've gone to take back control. Take back control. And this is our country. And it is. Graham Moore, Davy Russell. These are all part of it. And I'll look at them and I'll think, do you know what? They've got a fucking good share. They're taking Parliament to court. How much money is that costing, Bev, do you reckon? How much is that costing Parliament for the White Pen Dragons? Taking them taking them up there to take back control. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon it's costing them a pretty penny.
This David Moore, he's a patriotic guy, he's a proper guy, do you know what I mean? He looks like a giant. Please follow these guys. Please do. I'm sitting on the fence. Sorry.
Daniel Greenwood said thank you, Jack, and Simon Rawlings, thank you for my beautiful son and me. Oh, that was nice. I haven't heard his name before, so I think he's new.
The White Pen Dragons, there's something else, and I'm sitting on the fence because I've been in an election in 2015. I got over 1,000 votes as a councillor in such a small area in Thurrock, Grays Riverside. I got over 1,000 votes, and I do believe I won that election. I don't think they wanted me up there. You know, the chief executive at the time, Graham Ferrand, the leader of the council, John Kent. I'd get on with John Kent, to be fair. Sorry, Bobs.
Same Graham Ferrand who had a child die under his watch in a leisure centre, that same one year who turned his back on children.
Yeah, this is Graham Ferrand. He was the chief executive of the council. I've got him on film talking bullshit, mate. Him, the director of the Children's Services, and the leader of the council, John Kent. Graham Ferrand and Carmel Littleton, and I've got them all on video. Talking rubbish. And the only person I've got respect for in that council is a handful of people, and John Kent's one of them, you know. Jackie Doyle Price told me a hell of a lot of untruths about John Kent, and when I eventually did meet John Kent, I made my own mind up and thought, she's one lying, deceiving woman to keep me away from this guy. And I do believe, if I'd have gone to John Kent sooner, I think this would have been sorted. I do believe that, babe, do you know what I mean?
I do.
Because he's a man of the people. And I can't understand why this guy did not get in Thurrock as an MP last time round. How did this woman do it? How did she do it?
I ain't got a clue.
What is she doing as an assistant whip? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when she was.
She clearly likes a drink.
Kaylee Marie Morgan. Oh, Jack, they want me to do a DNA with... I can't say this little boy's name.
What's his
Scavia?
Who was that?
Kaylee Marie Morgan. They basically blackmailed me for a tooth. So I signed under duress with caps and lowercase, laugh out loud, caps lock off, caps lock off, caps lock off. Ben Walby. We're earthling, not English, Jamaican, southern, northern, black or white. We are all different shades of brown, black and white. People don't exist.
We are all human, ain't we? It doesn't matter what
Exactly.
what colour you are, babes, it don't.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you lose your right in hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man. If you kill a child or you sexually abuse a child, you should be sent off to the NHS labs and you should be having untested drugs in humans put into you to see if we can cure children's diseases.
Yeah.
Including me. I think it's stretching our prisons are full to the rafters. The police are not turning up on calls. If they do, it's a week later. A week later. If you break into somebody's car, smash the window, break into the car, nick an handbag, nick a laptop, run off, the police probably won't even attend that incident because it's a non-violent crime. I'm not saying go committing crime, I'm just telling you what the police will and probably won't turn up on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like another thing I'll say, babes, they're quick enough to brag about the government about, oh, green this, green that and green the other.
Yeah.
The amount of people that have lost their children to forced adoption through social workers. Can you imagine if we knocked one tree down for every child that's been adopted? How many trees would we have? How quick would it be noticed?
Oh, pretty quick.
How quick would it be a concern to government?
Exactly.
The place is starting to look like concrete city. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying do this because I'm not into.
No, you're just taking a hypothetical situation.
I am talking hypothetical because the amount of children that are being stolen, it's alarmingly. Children being failed coming out the care system. It's systematically ongoing from when I was a child. Do you know what I mean? And the same children are targeted.
Yeah. No, you're right, honey.
What was you going to say?
I'm just trying to find a comment that someone, Jonathan Cece, I think his name is. I think he's had a bit of a swearing moment and somebody said if you don't like it, don't watch. Comments echoed. No one's asking anyone to watch. If you don't like, don't watch, basically.
Well, if you want to be offensive and all that, we'll just block them because this is our community. Hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man, giving children a voice. It might be a social worker, it might be a friend of the establishment. So we'll just block him.
Jonathan C. Casey, what the am I watching?
I'm hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man. Please share this. Follow me at One Misty on Twitter. I can prove that my local council, Furrow Council, perjured themselves and stole my child. They went back to court to try and defend their perjury and tried to adopt my child. I proved my innocence. I got my child back and I've been campaigning for 5 years to get justice and give children a voice and better social care. Thanks.
Don't need bad language.
We don't give no chances on this community of forced adoption, parents being alienated, children screaming to be heard. We don't give no one no second chances. The minute bad language is used against one on another on the comments, we will be blocking because we do want to keep the model high ground and keep it clean. The people that I do worship, I will at one stage when I do get up there to government, when they do answer to what they've done, I will be putting your names up there as part of the community affected by what's been going on. Unfortunately, the trolls and the haters, they'll just get left behind still suffering. So please hang on in there, and we're going to do this because we're not about committing criminal offences, and we're not going to do that. We're going to keep the model high ground and keep them sharing these videos and embarrassing Parliament.
Two things to say. One, as far as the trolls go, we ain't got to worry about them.
Let's give no airtime.
They'll stay under their bridge. Simon Rowlings, well, you are bang on, mate. My Leo was stolen. Damn SS. But Chris has and am helping and need the advice. I think this is the Simon that Chris Griffin's working with, so I don't know if that's going to be a private sort of...
Chris touched on me on this. If you want me to help you fill the high call form in, give us, we'll have to link up, we'll come up to Clapton or whatever, and we'll sit down and have a look at it and we'll fill it out. I think that's what the help he needs.
Yeah, Chris has said she's going to get it copied 3 times, so she's got 3 lots to send off and all that, so it's...
Yeah,
he's put it is.
Anybody going through the 26-week court process of long-term foster or children being adopted, please don't, if you're part of this and you do want your name put to government when I do get up there for change, please don't put pictures of your kids on or your case on your computer because it'll have a big effect on your case. especially if you're in court. I'll take my hat off to everybody that shares it.
Paul Wetton, I lost my grandson to SS. They lie in court, they lie, manipulate and bully. One social worker threatened my child in front of me, so I kicked him out. He was moved position.
And the thing is, these are people like Donna Electric Shock. This is a woman of my heart. This is a woman that's going to be close to me. The further on I go, this woman's going to keep close to me, because I've got a lot of respect for this woman, and she's good at what she does. She says how it is, and she's a tough woman, and I like her. But this Donna's right. Even if you've lost your child for adoption, long-term foster, you're never going to get your child back. These should be the families that should have the more fight. The more fight than me. I should have the least amount of fight because I've got my child home. I'm doing it to make change. And this Donna Electric Shock, she sends around in her lives to say that, like, these people that have lost their children to adoption and are, you know, they should be for the cause, because the numbers are what counts. I'm the voice for you people. It's the numbers that we need to gel together as a community, because that's what we are. We are a failed community who are suffering, you know. We're hurting and we're suffering. Some of us are still young enough to go on and still make a family. And we can't make a family because we're damn scared, you know. There's people in the pipeline who are going through it at the minute. They're scared and they're pregnant, you know, on pre-birth assessments, you know. And it's the same people. Boom, boom, boom. And it's constant. And out of all the families that contact me, it's never someone that works for the NHS.
No.
It's never someone that works for the local authority, the council.
It's
never someone that works for the voluntary services of the council. It's never someone that's a barrister. It's never someone that's an MP. Do you know what I mean?
True.
And lose their kids. Never. It's always the failed looked after child. Me. And such other. Fire away, Babs.
Ben Walby, you have to realise children are our sole attachment, so when we are separated they have broken our souls, literally stealing our souls. We can't have that, can we?
And he's right, Babes, because the minute they took Misty and we got back in the car,
yeah,
you can remember what I done. I got back in my car when we lost Misty, and I done nothing but punch the roof of my car. That's what I done. Because my missus was crying her eyes out. She was a fucking lump on the floor well of my car. I punched the granny out of it. And it is, that guy is right. It's like something's been stripped from you, mate. There's nothing you can do. The minute you do, you're banged up. And you live with that loss, and you live with that pain, and you live with that anger, and you live with that frustration. And you go out on the street and you see another parent acting like a fucking animal to their children, and you don't see social services on their case. You never see it. Smacking their kids in public.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
A lot of people are saying Viva Revolution. Viva la Revolution.
It is, babes. We need to revolutionise children's services. Do you know what I mean? This is the revolution. Giving children a voice.
I think, and I'm not talking far-fetched here, but I think it frightens the government, the fact that there's a new breeze coming through. And what it's going to do is going to blow all them cobwebs away, and all them cobwebs and little spiders sitting in Parliament weaving their little webs. It's going to blow them all away. Clear it out, clear the lobby and start a new one.
If you've got enough money to bomb on this earth, why haven't you got enough money to feed them?
Thurrock Council, for example, what was we talking about? £4 million into social care on the last budget.
That's what they saved. This is Councillor Shane Hebb from the Conservatives in Fulham reckons he saved a few million pounds in the social care budget. It's on its knees in Fulham Council, and there's a councillor bragging about he's took all the money.
£4 million they were putting into social care in the
Lost
budget,
wires.
and yet they stripped £3 million out of it, and there's only £1 million in it now.
So it's on its knees anyway.
So how have you learnt lessons?
Lessons have not been learned.
We've learnt lessons. What we'll do is we'll move the social worker around to another department. We'll pay that person off to keep quiet. We'll move that one. We'll steal that one's kid and gag them. And what we'll do is we'll take less money out, and that's that sort, isn't it, really?
And then what we'll do is we'll send 15 million or near over to a wind farm in Wiltshire. That's what we'll do with the council's money.
Donna Electric Shock says, it breaks me seeing others in pain. And your sister said, and they're home now, happy are Misty and JJ, and I enjoy spoiling them.
My kids are thriving. And my kids have both got 100% attendance since they've been there. The social workers have got no reason. I've even had people phoning up the social workers making allegations about me last week. That's how cruel people are. That's how cruel people are. And I've got so many friends in front of Council Lewis in the social care.
Cruel/dumb.
They're good friends to me. And I know you people are watching me tonight that do stuff like this.
Ben Walby. SS are ignorant. Nothing will change the rules. The only way to change their mind is a serious beating. They won't lie ever again.
It's class cleansing. And we'd all love to beat it. You know, we'd all love to beat it. I'd love to do it. You know, even if it was cold on the floor and knocked out, I'd still beat it. Because it's my kid. If that had been Billy Bragg down the road, or Billy Bob the Knob down the road nicking my kid, he wouldn't be here today, mate. I guarantee that.
Kaylee said, when we were protesting, they'd done the same to a girl, like they'd done with the baby removing from birth. Broke my heart seeing her drop to the floor. Donna said the Rotherham Child Protection Officer got put in easy riding.
Yeah, but in the Rotherham thing, the guy who was involved in the children's services then went on to be the Police Crime Commissioner.
East riding, sorry.
He went on to be the Police Crime Commissioner.
Yeah.
And then failed at that post.
It'd be like you on scaffold. So you start off as a labourer and you do something wrong and the job comes down. They wouldn't promote you then make you a scaffolder, would they? I'll tell you what, Scars, I'll tell you what, you can go and put this job up in London, it's only 80 foot. Yeah, don't worry about that job that fell down, you'll be alright, mate. Don't tell no one. Go on.
Slasher.
Yeah.
We need to share this at One Misty on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube, hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man. I'm going to start thinking about closing it down. I'm going to play the forced adoption. The words to this song mean a lot to all of us, and they relate to all of us, and this gives me the power. I'm never going to get sick of listening to this song. But at the end of the day, I think Theresa May, things have been said, things have been heard. We are going to clear our lobby because we want to go to bed. But at the end of the day, Theresa May, we've got no plans of breaking the law on forced adoption and children screaming to be heard right across the board. We want a fair crack of the whip. We've not committed no offences. I think we've done pretty well. You know, I think out of all of it, I think a few fathers got on the arch. We've had fathers doing walks. I don't think we've had many criminal offences broken, serious ones anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I think we should have some gratitude and have the Misty Bones case looked into in terms of accountability and looking at the children that are screaming to be heard, especially the kids that are getting failed at an alarming rate in care. Same very reason why the children are being removed from the community. Now, when we come to do a Facebook Live on Sunday coming, what me and Cheryl are going to do is we're going to share the Misty Bones case with you. We're going to go from start to finish on the Misty Bones case. Because if the BBC are not going to air this shit, we're going to air it on Facebook Live. And we're going to embarrass the government on what they turn their back on. The MP, Jackie Dole-Price, has got copies of all what we're going to talk about on Sunday. She said it's a simple maladministration. And I'm going to show you people the Misty Bones case properly from start to finish. And then what you're going to see is the MP is full of shit. And that's why I'm for us Passion for Change. Criminal charges on the social workers, you know. Tell Jeremy Kyle, you're not going on broadcast no more unless you put the social workers on there. It's alright to do it in the community and then send the social workers in after. When your polygraph tests don't stand up in court, yeah, you won't hold the social workers on your show, Jeremy Kyle, and put them on a polygraph test. Siobhan Connon in question, because she committed perjury and I can prove it. So I'm going to name her because the government are not doing nothing about it. And if she's got a problem with me about it, do something about it. If I'm telling lies, Theresa May, challenge me on my videos. If not, can you please address the issue? Because this has gone on now for 5 years. I don't want no families taking the law into their own hands, but what I do want is people to share this wherever they can share it. Let's have it. Go, babes.
Just a quick 3 things. 1, your sister said, well done, now you started Jamie off crying. 2, William Wallace.
William Wallace.
That's him. Hi Jack, he's just literally popped up.
Thanks a lot, William. Please share this, watch this back.
And say thanks for all your shares.
Thanks for all the shares, everybody, I mean that. Because I am your voice. To piss a social worker off, share Jack's videos. Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man.
Hashtag piss a social worker off.
It's gonna happen.
Kaylee, what did I tell you guys? Something inside so strong.
Read them out, babes.
Respect, always totally agree with you, Daniel Greenwood. Teresa McGee, night night, God bless you both. Something inside so strong.
Thank you.
Sister night, Kaylee. Oh, hey Kaylee.
Thanks for everybody joining me tonight. Proper shoot. Means a lot. I'm not going to go away, government. I'm going to hold you to account legally.
Jackie Khan, the louder Jack will sing with the song. Kaylee getting my red hat tomorrow. Becky Brassington, good night.
Happy days. Thank you, Becky Brassington. Good luck in your ongoing case.
Ben Walder's giving you a...
Cheers, my man. Join me Sunday to listen to the Misty Barnes case, start to finish. Thank you, Donna, Marie, Chris, Kaylee, Kate Tibbin, Tracy Morris, Sheila Phillips, the list goes on. Please share this.
Loretta said good night to you both.
Louise, man,
Kaylee.
thanks a lot.
I loved that one. Done, Jack. Oh, I missed that one. Night, mate. Means a lot. I love you all.
If anybody wants to cry, a shoulder to cry on, contact me. I'll give you my number, or I'll give you my Rocks number, which is Donna Electric Shock. I've got other people that help me, Chris Griffin, Kate, Lee Morgan. We are shoulders to cry on. We are a community. Any more comments, Bob?
I'm waiting for him to come in.
Join me Sunday to listen to the Misty Barnes case. Government choose to ignore. BBC don't want to learn it.
Your sister said Jamie's whinging.
Why are you whinging?
Why is he whinging?
You're going to piss your government off. You're going to piss the social worker off. Share hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. I'll say how it is.
Donna, I like the new one better than the first attempt. We always join and share, Jack, and I get me munching, Kaylee.
I'm loving you guys. I'm loving it. Sunday will be good.
His sister said, is it alright to give Jamie your number? Loretta, you have waterproof shoulders.
Please, hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man, share this. Follow me on Twitter at @OneMisty. Join me Sunday, 9 o'clock, to listen to the Misty Barnes case. The case that the government choose to ignore. The Justice Secretary chooses to ignore. Join me Sunday, 9 o'clock. Hashtag Scouts Megaphone Man. Share this.